Hey, this is Mr. Wyrick. I'm coming to you from my workspace now, and we're going to take a look at the notes from today, just try to help you out, get you going on this assignment. So let's take a look down here. We are finding the surface area of different prisms. So with the rectangular prism, you can actually shortcut this, and the shortcut makes a lot of sense. It's 2 times the length times the width. That's because if we look at this, we got a length right here of 13. Okay, and I'll circle that in blue. We have a width of 7. I'll circle that in red. And then we have a height of 9. I'll circle that in this green. So if we're dealing with this, we're going to have this 7 times 13 for the bottom of this. But because it's a rectangle, the top one's going to be exactly the same. So we're finding the surface area. This is all the outside multiplied together. So this is going to be 13 times 7 because that's there. And then I'm just going to multiply that by 2. Then I'm going to add to that 2 times. Now I've got to look at this one that would be like the front of the box. So that's still 13, and the height is 9. So I have a 13 by 9 rectangle on both the front and the back. I could just multiply it by 2. And then I'm going to add to that 2 times, and now I'm looking at the ones on the edge. I already did the top and bottom, that was the 13 by 7. I did the front and back, that was the 13 by 9. And now I'm looking at this one that the height's the same all the way around. It's gonna be that width of 7 times that height of 9. So that's how this is gonna work for all of these rectangular prisms. This one would be 2 times 10 times 16 plus 2 times 16 times 5 plus 2 times 10 times 5. We're just going to add together all those separate pieces. Now, if this formula stuff doesn't make sense to you, you can always just take them one at a time, say what it is multiplied by what, and add them all together. You can do this in Desmos. You can do this on I wouldn't trust your phone calculator because it'll go weird on some of the multiplication, but you could write this all out at once and get it on Desmos. Number 3, I'm not going to worry about putting it down. It's the same way. On the other prisms, the surface area of them, it's going to be weird. Okay? For this one, we've got a nice triangle. It's a right triangle. It tells us down here at the bottom. So this is 9 times 12 divided by 2 for the area of that triangle. And then we've got that exact same triangle again. So I can multiply it by 2. So I can really just do 9 times 12. But then I've got these other 3 rectangles. This one's going to be 9 times 16 because my height here is 16 and this side is 9. So that's this back one done. This other back one is 12 by 16. So I'm going to add 12 times 16. And then this one in the front, because it's a 3-dimensional figure, is 15 by 16. 15 times 16. So we just add all of that together. That's going to give us our surface area. On this one, it's the same thing. We've got the triangles front and back. It gives us the height, the base, so we can calculate those two. Then we would need to do this rectangle, and this one down here at the bottom. On the assignment is actually formulas for how to get the 2-dimensional shape stuff, so I won't worry too much about that. But this one here, we have a trapezoid front and back. So we would take 18, which is the top height, plus 23, which is the bottom height. We would divide that by 2, and we would multiply by 12, which is this measurement right here. Then we could take whatever number we get from that and multiply that by 2 because we have 1 in the front and 1 in the back. Then we've got this rectangle here that's 20 by 15. We have this rectangle here that's 18 times 15 because it's the one here on the top. This one over here on the left-hand side is going to be that's 15 still, so 15 times 12. And then the one on the very bottom should be 23 times 15. The more sides to it, the more work you have to kind of do on that. There's some more irregular ones here. I do want to talk about the cylinders just to make sure we're good there. The surface area of the cylinder, you have to do some different stuff. That's this formula over here. 2 times pi r squared plus 2 times pi times the radius times the height. This is because we have to kind of find the circumference of the circle and multiply that. The circumference is 2 pi r, and we multiply that by the height. That gives us what would be like the label on this can of soup down here, the lateral surface area. And then for our other surface area, it's 2 times pi r squared. Now, odds are you'll be able to leave your answers in terms of pi so that you won't have to get super complicated with how you write the answer. This is 2 times pi times my radius squared plus 2 times pi times my radius times my height. Okay. What I mean by answers in terms of pi, 11 squared is going to be 121 times 2 is going to be 242 pi. So that's for my two circles there. On this one, 11 times 26 is going to be 286. 286 times 2 is 572, and then pi. So that is for my all the way around, my label, my side to it as opposed to the top and bottom. I'm going to add those together. So that would be 4, 7 plus 4 is 11, 5, 6, 7, 8, 814 pi, and then it'd be square yards for this because it's just surface area, okay? If you get stuck on this, make sure just email me, try to start up, a meet, a hangout, something like that, and hopefully we'll get your answers going and we'll get you moving in the right direction. Thank you.